today, and I'm really excited to get to share Canva always. And I'm just going to get my screen share on here and get started. So Canva is a platform that has been near and dear to my heart for a long time. I started using it in 2014, and I am just always amazed at how Canva is so responsive to educators and continually growing and improving the platform. And so it's so fun for me to get to share with you ways that we can bring Canva into learning. My name is Tisha Richmond, and I am a Canva learning consultant. I also am a student engagement and professional development specialist in Medford, Oregon. And I have been in education for over 25 years. Many years, over 20, were spent in the culinary arts classroom and interior design classroom. And I moved into a district role about 5-ish years ago. And I also love to create for the Canva library. So I'm a Canva for Education content creator, and I'm the author of Make Learning Magical. And it's all about transforming your classroom and creating unforgettable learning experiences for students. Also have a couple podcasts that I have too, Make Learning Magical and Spark Joy in EDU. If you would like to follow me, you can find me mostly on Twitter, and my handle is TishRich. And you also can feel free to email me at trichmond@canvalearning.com if you have follow-up questions. I'm sure Katie can help you as well, but always happy to connect and to answer questions that you have following the session, because I know I cover a lot of information and your wheels will probably be spinning. I also want you to know that I would love for you to add to the chat. So if you have questions throughout, please put your questions there, and I know Katie will help me moderate those as we go. So I first of all want to see where you are with your familiarity with Canva. So I know we might have some that are brand new users to Canva and maybe haven't even opened the platform yet. And there might be some that are feeling pretty experienced with Canva. Maybe you're even bringing it into classroom with your students. And so if you could put in the chat somewhere between 1 to 5 where you fit on that spectrum, it just kind of helps me to know how fast to go, how slow to go. Thank you all for adding to the chat too what grades you teach and where you're at. Also very helpful. Looks like we have a lot of 1s and 2s. We have a 3. And I always like to say too, especially for those who are at that 3 through 5 level, we're all better together. So if you have these amazing tips and tricks that you know and that you love, that you want to share in the chat, please do that, because there's things that I'm learning all the time in Canva. It's one of the great things about Canva is it's continually changing. So please share what you know. And I love also that we have educators from all grade levels here. I see some in kinder, I see some in the higher grades, and Canva is definitely a platform that can amplify learning in any grade that you teach. And so it's exciting to me to see so many here today. That's fantastic. So if you have not been on social media on any of these hashtags, know that there's a great community forming. And they brought back, I don't know if you know this, Katie, but they brought back the Canva for Education handle on Twitter just this week. And so definitely follow Canva for Education, follow these hashtags, and you're going to find lots of great content being shared out all of the time from our amazing Canva community. So today I'm going to be breaking this down kind of into 4 different sections. We're going to jump into what Canva for Education is, what you can do in Canva, so ways that you can create in Canva, but also how we can have our students create in Canva. We're going to go into the homepage, and I'm going to help you navigate a little bit to get your lay of the Canva landscape and know how to begin designing in Canva and some special features that are really helpful. And then we're going to jump into a design, and I'm going to show you the basic Canva design features so that you can start creating right away. And we're even going to do a collaborative activity together so you can try some things out. And then we will end with questions and answers so that any questions that were not answered throughout the presentation can be answered at the end. So let's begin by talking about what Canva for Education is. So as I mentioned before, I have been using Canva since 2014. But when I began using Canva, Canva for Education had not been born yet. At that time, it was made primarily for businesses. It's only been about 2 to 3 years that Canva for Education has come on to the scene. And Canva for Education, for those of you who have maybe used just the Canva non-education version, it is like using the premium version of Canva with added benefits. It is a visual communications platform. So anything that you can possibly think about creating digitally, you're going to be able to create in Canva. And I'm going to share some of those things in just a little bit. One of the beautiful things about Canva is that there are over 60,000, and this number is growing all of the time, ready to use customizable educational templates. And what I love about that is that some of us may be intimidated beginning to design on a blank canvas. You can do that if you want in Canva. However, there are thousands and thousands of templates that you can begin with to just get your creativity juices flowing. And sometimes I will find a template in the library and my finished product doesn't look anything like it did when I started, but it just allows me to start just jumping into that creativity and really getting those that inspiration going. And so I love those templates for that reason alone. And another thing that's wonderful about Canva is that it's robust. It does a lot of things, and yet it's still simple and it's intuitive. And I have used a lot of different digital platforms. I was a tech integration specialist in my own district, and so I've worked with lots of teachers. And I definitely know and appreciate those tools that are easy to learn, but do a lot of things. And Canva is a perfect example of that. Also within Canva are amazing collaboration tools. So whether you are collaborating with your grade level team, maybe your department, or you're having students collaborate in the classroom, there are wonderful tools for that. Any design, you can bring others in as a collaborator, and you also have access to the whiteboard in Canva, which allows for just an even more advanced level of collaboration that really gives you this ability to give real-time feedback and really get your students working together in ways that maybe you were not able to do before. It's really, really powerful. I also love the assignment workflows and LMS integrations. And that's one of the benefits of Canva for Education that you don't get in the premium non-education version is these wonderful integrations to single sign-on and to learning management systems. And so whether you are using D2L or Google Classroom, you're going to be able to create a assignment workflow with Canva to really make that turning in of assignments really easy and streamlined. Because I know as an educator of over 20 years how important those workflows are for me and for my students. And so really finding that flow within Canva is really important and really easy to find as well. So why is Canva for Education free? I get this question a lot, and Canva believes that education is a human right, and they want to empower the world to design and to create. And if you are a user of Canva already, please put in the chat why you think Canva is different from some of the other platforms. I would love to hear your responses on that. But at Canva, we think that the skills students learn in Canva are going to transcend the K-12 landscape. So Canva is becoming an industry standard. And unlike some other platforms, when you are in the educational version of Canva, it is exactly what students are going to see when they go into the workplace. The education version looks just like the industry version. We just have some extra bells and whistles in education with our single sign-on, our LMS integrations, and just our privacy agreements. And so we are really preparing our students for the workforce. And many large corporations, companies are using Canva. And when students are in this platform, they are learning how to communicate. They are learning how to collaborate, how to be creative, how to work as a team. They're learning entrepreneurship skills. They're learning how to be a lifelong learner. And so I love that we are not only teaching them the content through Canva for Education, we're also teaching them these essential skills that are going to carry on throughout their lifetime. So let's talk about now how we can use Canva in the classroom, not only as an educator, but how we can bring it to our students so we can get them collaborating and creating. So let's start with teaching resources. So posters, instructional videos, presentations are all really great places to start with Canva. And so when we are thinking about putting things up in our classroom, maybe a poster we want to have on the wall in our hallways, we can create those in Canva. If we are going to give a presentation to students, we're going to be able to create those in Canva as well. But we also can really create these opportunities to have this class collaboration. So if you go into the Canva for Education library, you're going to see brainstorm templates, you're going to see graphic organizers, you're going to see templates for creating a storybook together. So you could have groups of students actually create a book. You're going to be able to have them work together as a group. And so what is beautiful about that is that you can go into the template library and find a template that might match kind of what you want to do, but then you can iterate it and you can make it entirely your own. And so you can actually go in and change the content, the wording to exactly the type of work that you want your students to be doing. It's really, really easy to be able to get them working together and collaborating in that way. Also thinking about how we can capture students' learning. And that is one of the most powerful things that I find about Canva for Education is it allows students to demonstrate their learning in multiple ways. And so really opening up that opportunity for students to show what they know in a way that means something to them. They can do that in the form of infographics. They can create videos in Canva. They can actually keep their student journals, maybe collect their work in some type of a portfolio. They can even do things like comic strips. They can create those in Canva as well. They can create a website in Canva. Honestly, anything that you can think of being created in a digital way, you're going to be able to create it. So think about that. When you open up our students' minds to ways that they can show what they know, that is a really, really powerful thing. So I want to share with you right now some different types of things that can be created beyond what I just showed you. And so if you look at this list, I would like you to find some things that might resonate with you that you would either like to create as an educator or things that you might want your students to create in the classroom. So I'm going to give you a few moments just to kind of glance at this list of things. And if you can put in the chat something that catches your eye here that you think would be a great thing to either create yourself or have your students to create. If you have already created some things and it was really successful and your students loved it, also put that in the chat too, because I think it's really important that we are learning together. Infographics, absolutely. A brochure. Yes, a magazine cover. Yes, thinking about having students create in that way, how fun for them to be able to take what they've learned and to be able to demonstrate it in any one of those ways. Instagram post. Yes, our students are on social media all of the time, whether we want them to be or not, right? And so when you think about having students present what they know in a way that is a language that they speak and understand already, that is going to be so much more exciting for them to be able to do that. In animated social media, yes, there are so many different animations that we can add in Canva. You can create anything that you make in Canva can be created into a GIF as well, or GIF, however you might want to say that. And so students can have so much fun creating GIFs or GIFs or memes, and think about that. How could that connect to maybe the content that you're teaching? Level up presentations. Yes, presentations are fantastic in Canva. I'm going to show you something in Canva that I love in the presentation that I'm showing you right now. If I hover down here on the bottom and you see this little keyboard, I am able to access my secret menu here. So if I wanted to, let's say, set the timer for 1 minute, I simply am going to click on the one on my keyboard and I'm going to get a 1 minute timer. If I want to change that to a 5-minute timer, I simply click on the 5 on my screen. So how many times have you gone outside of a presentation, gone to YouTube or another place, set the timer there, and had to toggle back and forth? You don't need to do that in Canva. You are going to be able to access it right from your keyboard. There are also some other really fun ones. For instance, I can pop confetti. If maybe a student was giving a presentation or sharing out something and you wanted to do you can do a mic drop, super fun. Maybe you just want your students to be quiet. You can click the Q for quiet and have them quiet down maybe for a little bit. There's even features like blur that is going to direct maybe your students to each other. Maybe you wanted to have them turn or talk or focus on something else for a moment. You can blur your screen as well. So really quick, easy features that you can access right from this keyboard on your screen in any Canva presentation, but you have to be in present mode for this magic shortcut menu to pop up. So let's go ahead and jump into Canva so I can help you navigate that home page, and then we're going to just go ahead and get into a design and have you begin creating. So I am going to go to my home screen here, and this is what you should see when you sign in to Canva for Education. And Katie, if you want to, do you want to just address that really quick with your teachers, for those who have not maybe gone in before, how they're going to find it?
Yeah, for sure. If you just Google Canva, it should be the first thing that pops up. There's going to be, if you've never logged in before, there's going to be an option for you to log in or sign up. Even though it might be your first time going in, you're going to click log in. Okay. And that's because we have this agreement with Canva. And so it recognizes anybody in our school board, and it also recognizes any student. So when you click login, you're just going to select login with Google, and it's totally safe to do that. Normally we give you a lot of warnings on don't do that, but this one is safe to do that because we have that agreement in place. And again, this is the same process for students. So if you
Wonderful.
see in the top right corner, if you see a login and sign in, you're going to click login.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So as I'm sharing this, if you want to have one screen up and kind of watch along and then, you know, navigate as I'm talking, that's totally fine. Whatever is the way that you learn and that works well for you is okay. So I am on this home page right now, and you're going to see that on the left-hand side, I have some things listed. The very first thing on the top is your teams. So when you click on this little toggle, it is going to toggle down to any teams that you have in your district. And every district is rostered slightly different. But when you are creating in Canva, it is always helpful to be in your team for that easy collaboration and sharing. So again, you can toggle here, and that will show you any teams that you are a part of that you can join or be a part of. Now, I am on the home button right now. And so when I'm on home, you're going to notice that right here is my search bar, and I'm going to be able to search for anything that I want to. And so it's going to start by giving you some suggestions. And so it's going to suggest, and these are some things that I was looking at recently. So it's AI technology in Canva is going to predict what you're looking for. And it's also going to give you some suggested templates here. But anything that I type in this search is going to come up. So let's say that I wanted to search for, we're going to just say presentations. I simply type in presentations and click enter. And all of the presentation templates within the Canva library are going to pop up. And you're going to notice there's a lot. There's 14,540. So then you're going to be able to go down and you're going to be able to filter that to really, really focus on exactly the types of presentations that you're wanting. So you can see that it will even change the types of formats. So for 16:9 or 4:3. It can change it to a mobile first presentation as well. It's going to change styles of presentations, themes. You can even go into the types of animation, video, audio that is in a presentation. For those that are maybe teaching like kinders through second, you're going to be able to look for presentations that are focused on that grade all the way through 12th, even subject areas, topics, etc., even colors. So you can imagine how helpful that is when you're really wanting to dwindle down that 14,540 templates. You're going to be able to really dwindle it to exactly what you want. And you also can change the types of wording that you put in that search menu to really be able to filter down the topics that way too. So for instance, I can type in presentations math, and it is going to narrow down that, it didn't really narrow it down that much. Now it has 57,000, but you can at least look for presentation templates that have that focus instead, which is really nice. Another way that you can begin creating in Canva is to look at these different circles on the top. This is part of the visual communication suite in Canva. So just like if you were in Google or Microsoft, any other platform, and you are looking for slides or docs or spreadsheets, etc., they have those categories broken down in Canva too. So I can go to whatever I'm looking for here, and it's going to filter that particular type of doc or visual communication suite category for me so that I can begin my search that way as well. Another thing that I want you to notice is up here on upload, I'm actually able to choose files from my computer. If I wanted to bring in maybe a PDF that you have living on your computer, you can bring that in. And what's beautiful is that it is going to make it completely customizable. So if you have that presentation that's been in Google Slides and you want to bring it into Canva, you're going to be able to bring it in. I also want to show you that if I go into projects, which is where all of my designs that I have created live, I can go up to add new up on the top right. And not only can I upload, I can also create a folder to organize my things, but I also can import from an app. So if I wanted to import something that I have in my Google Drive, in my OneDrive, or my Dropbox, I'm going to be able to bring that in as well. And so Canva allows you to work smarter, not harder, and really not have to recreate the wheel, because I know we are all short on time, right, as educators. And so anytime that we can take something that already exists and make it better, that's always a win for sure. Also, I want to make sure that you are aware that up here in the account settings, I'm going to click on this little dial. It's right up here, or a gear, whatever you want to call it. And you are going to notice that I have some options here. I can change my language. So if you are wanting to change your language to French, you're going to be able, or any other language, you're going to be able to do that right here in the account settings. And you can show your students how to do this as well, which is really, really great. And I'm going to show you a brand new feature in Canva when we get into a design that has to do with language as well, that I'm really excited about. Something else that you also want to know is in settings, if I go down here, classes and groups are two words that are synonymous in Canva. So if you are wanting to create a group, so let's say a department group or a grade level group so that you and the other teachers can collaborate together, you're going to be able to create them right here by creating a class. So when it says class, it's really meaning any type of a group. Now, if you wanted to create a class in Canva, you can. However, I would recommend if you have a workflow that you're working with already, like Google Classroom or D2L, continue with that workflow, because it's always good to continue with the processes and the organization that you already have. I would say this would be best for like those grade level team groupings or you know, groups within, like, as colleagues that you want to collaborate with. Okay, so those are the main two things I wanted to show you there in your account settings. So let's go back here now to, and anytime I click on this Canva up here, the logo on the top left, it is going to bring me back again to my home page. There are some other things here that you can look at, but I'm this brand tab is really for your district administrators. If they are creating brands, you're going to find them there. But I really just wanted to focus on that for you today on how to search for your templates and how you're going to be able to search for your own designs that you have created. So when I go into projects, I'm going to be able to search for people. So people that you may have been collaborating with, or maybe somebody that shared something with you, and you know somebody else owns a project, you can search by their name here. You can search by categories, and you can even search by time. And so this really helps you find exactly what you are looking for. You also can filter by most relevant, newest, oldest in alphabetical order, and you can change from either grid view or list view. So before I move on from this page, I want to make sure that I address any questions that you have. So if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. And then I'm going to show you how you can begin a design. I'm going to wait just for a minute to see if anything comes up. Okay. So I am going to type in about me because we're going to do an activity in just a minute. And you can see if I'm toggled onto projects, it's going to search my own library of designs that I have created for something that's called about me. But if I click over to templates, now it is going to search all of the things in the library for a template on about me. So when I click on that, it is going to bring up all of the templates. And you're going to see that there are some that are in poster format, some that are in activity format. There's lots of things here. But let's say I found a template that I really like that I want to bring into my classroom. I'm going to notice that there's 3 little dots here. It's going to allow me either to customize that template or to just preview it and see what it looks like. So if I click on preview, it is going to show it to me a little closer. If this was a template that had multiple pages, it's going to let me go ahead and scroll through every page of that template. It's also going to show me some things that are similar to it that I might like. And so this really helps you to find things that you are wanting to use. Maybe you like it, but maybe you just want to star it so that you can access it later. You can star it as well, so that you can go back to it at a later time. So that is one way that you are able to start designing in Canva. The other way is if I click up here on create a design, I'm also going to be able to type in something. And let's say I want it to be a presentation. And it's going to bring me right into a design. But you'll notice that when it brings me into the design, I'm working with a blank canvas. It doesn't bring me into a specific template. However, if I look on the sidebar here and I click on the very first icon, this is where I can search for about me templates. And so as soon as I type in, I have to be clicked on design, and I type in about me, now it's showing me all of the possible templates that I could use that are going to be about me templates. I also am going to be able to, once I choose one, so let's say I click on this first one, and I apply all 10 pages. So it's asking me, do I want to use just one page of this, or do I want to apply all 10? I want to apply all 10. And then it's going to pop all of those slides to this About Me presentation in my tray at the bottom. Now, if I go back to these styles, I am going to be able to change. Oh, I have to get rid of About Me. It's going to allow me to change the color combinations here. So let's say that I really like this presentation. However, I don't like the color scheme and I want it to be a little brighter. I can go ahead and look through these different color combinations. And let's say I want it to be neon. I'm simply going to click on neon. And it is going to change the colors in that presentation to this neon palette. Now, if I like those colors, but I don't like how they've been applied to my design, I can simply click this little shuffle in the middle, and it's going to shuffle the colors within that slide, and I can keep shuffling until I get the color combination that I like. Now, let's say I landed, I really like this color combination. If I scroll down to the bottom of my screen and click on apply to all pages, now it is going to change all of the pages in my presentation to the color scheme that I like. And so think about how easy that is to really get the exact colors that you're looking for without a whole lot of effort. Because I know for me, when I see a color combination that I know I like it, but to actually choose the colors that complement each other well is sometimes a struggle. And so that makes it really designing visually engaging and accessible presentations and anything digital so much easier for not only you, but for your students as well. It will also do this for text font sets as well. So if you want to select some different fonts that are going to complement each other, it's also going to assist you with that as well. And just recently, they've also added in recent designs. So you can grab different font sets and color palettes from other designs that you've created as well. So lots of great things here in design as far as really getting to choose your styles, choose the templates that you like. And it also is going to give you some suggested layouts. So you can pick some different slides for your presentation that Canva suggests as well. Another feature that is on the sidebar in Canva are the elements. And elements is really where all of your creative freedom is going to live. You are going to be able to select lots of different categories of elements from the second icon down. So you can select graphics, you can select lines and shapes, stickers, photos, videos, charts, tables, frames, and grids. So you could spend a lot of time here finding exactly the different elements that you want to bring into your design. So let's say that I wanted to search for ice cream. When I type in ice cream, right now I'm on all up here right under my search bar. So it's showing me all of the ice cream that fits into graphics, photos, videos, frames, etc. However, if I isolate that search and just put graphics, now I'm only going to see things, ice creams, that are going to be graphics and nothing else. And so I can scroll through here and I can find the one that I like the most. So let's say I really like this ice cream cone right here. As soon as I click on it, it's going to pop into my design. And you can notice that on the edges of that ice cream, I'm going to be able to make it smaller. I can move it by clicking on it and dragging it to different parts of my slide. And also you'll notice that when I click on this ice cream, there are some different design features that are going to pop up on top. So for instance, I can make something more or less transparent. I can flip it. This one isn't going to make that much of a difference, but I can flip it from one direction to another. I can add animation. So maybe that ice cream comes into the slide in a certain way, and it will allow me to do that for specific photos or pages. And this is something, now, Katie, I don't know if you've seen this yet. This is brand new, and I haven't even had a chance to play with it. I did not know actually that they released this yet. But like I said, Canva Create is this week, and so lots of exciting things are coming. They have added animation, and so you're going to be able to create like an animated kind of movie or video or slide by using this create an animation. So I'm not going to go into that because I haven't even had time to play with it, but you might want to play with that, especially for those of you who have been in Canva a while, to see what that does. But this is all new here on the left. They have done a lot of work on creating really cool animations in Canva. Also, you're going to notice that there are lots of other options that I can use when I'm in this edit image. This particular graphic, there's no really background to remove, but I can remove backgrounds. I can add shadows. I can adjust like brightness, contrast, add filters. And so think about our kids and how they get to do this on their phones and their devices all the time. They're going to have so much fun playing with the editing capabilities within Canva. It's really, really gives them so much creative freedom for sure. I also want you to know that when I'm clicking on this ice cream, maybe I want to find other graphics that are similar to this ice cream. If I click on this little eye here on top, it is going to show me more things that are like that. And so these might be graphics that were created by that same artist. And so you're going to find other things that look like that graphic. So it makes it really nice when you're wanting to create a really uniform design with a lot of graphics that look similar. It's a great way to find them is by going to that eye when you're clicked on anything within your design, any graphic within your design. Okay, so lots of fun things to play with there. I'm going to move on to text and one other feature here on the sidebar, and then we're going to get collaborating. So text is exactly that. It's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to be able to add headings, subheadings, or body of text blocks within a design. And you even are going to be able to add these kind of creative blocks as well. So as soon as I click on any one of these, so let's say I add the glow, it is going to pop it into my design, but it is also going to allow me to edit that. So if you see when I'm clicked on this glow, the design features on top change. So when I'm clicked on ice cream, you can see I have these options. But when I click on the text box, I have some other options. So pay attention when you're in a design to what you are clicked on, because that is going to change what you can do. So anything I'm clicked on is going to change these design capabilities. So I am able to go into effects if I wanted to, and I can change the intensity of that effect. I can go in and I can change the color. I can go ahead and even change the font style. So all of those different things I'm able to do once I've added that text box in. So lots of options with text as well. And then draw is brand new. For those of you who used to find it in your app menu, now it is right on your sidebar. And as soon as I click on draw, it is going to pop out my different pens, highlighters, erasers. I can change the color. And so what's wonderful about this is think about this in the classroom and having your students maybe annotate, maybe having them do close reading, or maybe having them draw or do sketchnoting, combining those texts and those doodles together. Maybe in kinder and in your lower grades, having them circle all of the elements on a slide that begin with the letter M, or maybe drawing a line from one item to another within Canva. So many ways that we can allow our students to create and be able to show what they know with just even this simple draw tool. And as soon as I go into my design, you can see how it just immediately will allow me to draw. And when I click on this little arrow, it will allow me to change and move that drawing to other parts of my slide. And so think about even having your students animate something. They're going to be able to draw and then make that drawing come to life, which could be really, really powerful. All right. Lastly, I'm going to be able to go into projects, and I'm going to be able to grab things from other projects that I've already created. So if there was a slide in another presentation that you'd use and you want to bring it into Canva, you're going to be, or into this particular design, you're going to be able to do that. And so you don't have to, I know what I used to do, I would find a slide in another presentation and I would download it and would upload it back into the presentation I was doing. You don't need to do that. You can just simply find the design. It lets you search by keywords, by folders, and then go ahead and grab whatever it is you're looking for and bring it straight into your design. So it just makes it really easy. All right, and then lastly, backgrounds. I'm going to be able to change the backgrounds to any solid colors or any of these different types of background templates like gradients, patterns, abstract, food, etc. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to practice. There are more things that you can access as far as side features in apps, but only the ones that are black and white. So if you look here, you're going to notice that there are some more that we haven't talked about yet, but we're not going to go into those today. We're going to stick with what I've covered enough ground. I want you to be able to play with what we have. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring you all into this design. And I'm going to do that by going up to my share. And I'm going to click share up on the top right. I'm going to go down to this collaboration link, and I want to make sure that it's on anyone with a link because I want you all to be able to collaborate. I want to make sure that you are on Can Edit, and I'm going to go ahead and copy that link. And I'm going to drop it into my chat box here. And I am going to bring you all in to that in just a minute. But before I do that, I want to show you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to have you do it. So I have a slide here, and I've created lots of copies of that same slide. So when I bring you in, I want you to go to the top of your page, and I want you to type in your name just like I did right here, so that we know that that slide is yours. These frames are frames that you can drop a picture in. So the first thing that I'm going to share that is something that I love is coffee. So I'm going to go into my search bar and I'm going to search for coffee. And I want to search for photos because only photos are going to drop into the frames, not graphics. So I find a cup of coffee that I like. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And then I'm going to hover over that frame and drop it, and it's going to pop right in. I'm also grateful for my family. So let's see if I can find quickly a picture of my family. Let's see if I can here. Might take me a minute. I'll do that while you are all playing. I'll have to find a picture of my family in here. And then the ocean is my happy place. So I'm also going to search for the ocean. Also want to make sure that's a photograph. I'm going to hover and drop it in. So I'm going to give everybody about 3 minutes or so to type in your favorite things or things about you that you would like to share. You're going to be able to change this text box by simply clicking on it and typing in what it is that you want to share that you love. And then you also are going to be able to drop in those pictures to be able to describe the things that that you love or that your favorite. And then if you have extra time, you can also go in here and you can change the background if you would like. You can change this about to say about and your name. And then you can also go in and add extra elements if you would like. If you'd like to embellish this anyway that you would like to, you are also able to do that. So I just want you to practice a little bit with some of those side features that I shared. And then I will kind of share some tips and tricks as you are doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and share the link with you. It's now dropped in the chat. And you're going to see that you're all bouncing in here in this top purple bar. And so when you bounce in, it's probably going to bounce you in to page 1. So what I want you to do is I want you to move to a page. I went into grid view by clicking on this little box on the bottom, so that I can see where everyone is at. So I want you to move to another slide. And I want you to, like I showed you before, type your name right above the page where it says page 2, page 3, and it gives you a little hyphen. I want you to write your name there so we know that somebody has claimed that slide. And as soon as you have done that, I'm going to have you go ahead and start designing. Now, I'm not sure, I think we have 28 people in this room right now, so I think we should all should be able to find a slide. We can have up to 50 collaborators within a design at one time. And if you're having any issues, you can simply put it in the chat, or if you'd like to unmute, you can do that as well. I can see here in grid view where everybody is at, and I think you are all spacing yourselves out very well. I have a couple people still in slide 1. So if you are in slide 1, you might want to jump to another. I'm saying slide, but I'm really meaning page. And this is great as a teacher if you're doing a collaborative activity like this in the classroom, because you can see as I click or hover over each of these circles on a page, I can see who it is. And so if I saw that maybe more than one person was on a page, I would then know who to address and ask to move to a different page. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to add your photos to your About Me page, change the text underneath the photos, and embellish this any way that you would like. And I'm going to turn on some music as we are creating here.
Really young girl's heart, how the music can free her whenever it starts, and it's magic. If the music is groovy, it makes you feel happy like an old time movie. I'll tell you about the magic in a real story, but it's not trying to tell us take about it. No, no, it's magic. Don't bother to choose if it's just that music or rhythm. Just go listen, little dot of light. One out of face, no matter how.
A couple really great questions have come up in the chat. One question is asking, if I design an All About Me template, how do I give each student a copy that they can work on? I don't want them all working on the same presentation. Excellent question. So this is what we're doing right now is just, like I said, a collaboration. However, you also can create a template link. So if you are using Google Classroom, if you go to the share menu and you go down to more, you are going to be able to scroll down and you're going to see Google Classroom. When you create an assignment through Google Classroom, it is going to create a copy for each student for you. So you're going to simply get to choose the class that you want to give it to. You're going to create an assignment, click go, and it is going to attach that copy for every student right here in Google Classroom. However, you also can grab a template link as well. Because I use template links quite a bit, you're going to see that it's right here underneath my purple copy link bar. However, if you don't see it, if you go down to the more menu, you're going to find template link under share. And once you use it a few times, Canva will anticipate the things that you're going to use most often. And it is going to be right here, easily accessible for you on this kind of top section of your share menu. But if I simply click template link, it's going to allow me to copy that, and it's going to give every student a copy that is their own that will not be collaborative. So that's how you do that. Okay, and then Susan asked, where do I find images to attach? You're going to go into Elements. It's the second icon down. And you are going to be able to search for whatever it is you're looking for. And if you want it to be like a graphic image, you're just going to simply click on graphic and it will isolate your search to that. If you're looking for a photo, you can click on photos, etc. So it's the Elements icon, second one down on your sidebar. Also, let's see, how do you know if you are in Canva for Education? When you go to your home page, you are going to see this Teams button, and this should show the teams within Ottawa Carleton. So that if it says it has your teams here and it has education, you should know that you're in an education account. I will resend the link.
I've just put the link there in the chat. If you've logged in with your OCDSB account into Canva, it should recognize you as part of our domain. If you've used Canva in the past and used your OCDSB account before we had set up this agreement with Canva, you might be in this weird space where it's actually a personal account and it's not part of the domain, but it's still your OCDSB account. If that's the case, please email me. We're going to have to see if we can get you switched over.
Okay, thank you. one of the things I wanted to make sure I address is if you are wanting to, and collaboration might not be something you want to do with your students right away, and that's totally fine. It might be something you work towards. But if you go up to File up here on the top left, you're going to be able to look back at version history. So if you ever wanted to return to a prior rendition of something, you're going to be able to go back to your version history there. You're also going to notice you have lots of options here, like making a copy, downloading, moving to folders, etc. You can even create a new design from here as well, even import files from here. You also can resize something. So maybe you created something in one size format, but you realize you actually want it in another format. You're going to be able to go to resize and resize it to whatever size that you are wanting. And then also I wanted to share, this is brand new. And like I said, I have not had a chance to play with this yet, other than just kind of playing, just very briefly playing around in it. But Translate, and it's so new that you may not even see it yet on your Canva, but it should be coming soon. On any page within your design, you're going to be able to translate. It will automatically detect the language you're in, and then it will translate it from that language to whatever language that you are looking for. So let's say you want to translate it to French, and then you can decide on what page you want it to translate. So let's say I'm going to want it to translate page 1. I'm going to click translate. And what it will do is it will create a second slide with the translation. So here is the page that I asked it to translate. And now the second page, it has translated it for me. So brand new feature, again, just came out this week. There might be other things that, like settings, I haven't even had a chance to play with. It looks like you can decide if you want it to duplicate the page when translating, or if you just want it to translate the page that you're on. And it will also reduce this font size to fit if maybe the font size or the letters or characters are larger than the original language. It will automatically detect how much to reduce the size. So pretty amazing when you think about the opportunities now to be able to translate to any language. So brand new. Also within videos, it will automatically do closed captioning now. So that was an accessibility feature that hadn't been there, that they've added very, very recently. And maybe
we have a question in the chat there.
Yes.
I just wanted to cover. So if you're looking at your Canva screen and you have different features along the left-hand menu bar than Tisha has, so Tisha has the translate option, yours might not be there. So if it's not there, you click on the apps, and then in there, do you want to click on apps,
Yep,
Tisha? And then we can see there's more that you can add. And I will say, I think you were going to say this, Tisha, but these black and white ones are from Canva. You can go ahead and add those, and students can add those. You'll probably see the translate function there. If you scroll down further, the colored ones are third party, and we've turned those off for students, so students won't see those. As a teacher, you can go ahead and add them, but just keep that in mind. Your students don't have access to them.
Thank you, Katie. That's super helpful. And I want you to also see that when I'm on my sidebar here, not the first 4, but any of the ones below that, if I click on them, you can see this little X show up. If I simply click it, it will tuck that particular app back into your apps again. And so that's helpful if you are someone who just wants a really neat and tidy sidebar. You can keep all of the extra apps tucked into the apps until you need them. So now when I go into apps, you can see they all live right here. So just kind of a neat trick for organization. So I know that we are close on time, but I just wanted you all to get in here and play a little bit so that you can try the features. And I love scrolling through this grid because I see so many, lots of great colors. I see some people have discovered the gradients for your backgrounds. I see that you've been playing with different types of elements. So that is all fantastic. So I'm going to bounce back to my presentation. And I just want to save a little time for questions. And so if you have questions, please ask. and I can stick around a little later if you want to stick around to ask your questions out loud. But I want to make sure that you know that there's lots of great resources. There are Canva tutorials. You're going to get this presentation. And so when you click on this in the slideshow, you're going to be able to access those tutorials. You're also going to be able to join the teachers community on Facebook. There's also a wonderful community on Twitter if you follow Canva for Education. There is also a wonderful districts hub with lots of resources, and I will be sharing that. I'm going to share a one-pager with Katie that's going to have all of those resources on it and really with easy links to click as well. And we always love your feedback, so feel free to scan that QR code and it will actually generate a certificate for you. I also, within those resources that I'm going to share with you, I will have the link for how to create that assignment workflow in D2L and in Google Classroom. So you'll have all of those resources at your fingertips. And it's just been fun being with you all. So thank you so much for joining, and just know also that you are welcome to reach out to me anytime. I'm always happy to answer your questions. So thank you so much, Katie, for having me.